I have this saying that I love to say, and it's kind of like, you remember the old brand FUBU, right? Mm-hmm. For us, by us, but I kind of took it to the next level, and I think it really hits home because we do have to understand that if it's going to happen for us, it has to happen by us. Mm-hmm. And I love saying that because that's the only way anything is going to change. If we ever want any change, we have to start with ourselves.
For sure.
And it has to be us are the ones that are supposed to be ushering in the change, especially if we have kids and, for the future. We have to make sure that we do our part to pass it on.
If change is going to happen for us,
it has to happen by us.
We are people working together.
And this
is
our Women in Construction
highlight series.
Thank everybody for joining us. This is the PWT Women in Construction, and we have a very special guest joining us today. We have Danielle Cherry, who is an operating engineer. So welcome to the conversation, Danielle. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So we're just going to get right into it. Let's talk about what initially attracted you into a career in construction.
Well, initially, for my whole life, I would see like construction stuff going on the side of the road or buildings being made, and always wondered what it would be like to be a part of that. I've never really liked to work behind a desk, so I always in jobs, it was with my hands, and so I knew that construction would probably be a good fit for me because I liked working with my hands, and I liked being outside or building something. So that's what initially had me thinking about construction, and the pay isn't bad either. So
nice. How long have you been in construction?
Over almost close to 3 years.
Okay. And how did you get your start?
Well, my friend Nikki Whiteside, she has a nonprofit called Hope, and she gave me some insight on it, and then she sent me over to PWT because they had something going on right then. Okay. So that's how I got to PWT. PWT, you guys, if you don't know what PWT is, that is People Working Together. Outstanding organization. Great people there. Definitely.
How did you, so once you got hooked up with PWT and you went through the MC3 training program, what was like a leading factor into you actually pursuing that career? Because there's one thing to go through the training, but then there's another thing to actually pursue it. So what was like a motivating factor for you? Well,
for me, it's because I have a family and I wanted a career and not a job. So I've always felt like it could be a fit, like I said before, like construction. I like working with my hands and stuff. And so once I got through the program, opportunities just start coming my way. Like the PWT really gave me great opportunities, and I was able to actually work in 3 different positions in construction, and I finally got one that really fit me.
Wow. And that was operating engineer?
Yes.
Nice. And what does that explain to our audience a little bit about what an operating engineer is?
It's like with heavy machinery. So like when building houses or big buildings or whatever, you start with dirt. So it's like compactors, haul trucks, just everything that moves big loads of dirt. So that's the heavy machinery part of it. Scrapers, leveling dirt down, all
the prep work before they come in and start doing all the framing and all that good stuff. Nice. Now, being a woman in construction, it has its own, I'm sure it has its own sort of challenges. Have you experienced any of those challenges, or has it been pretty much smooth sailing? Well, I
can't say smooth sailing because, like I said, I worked 3 different places before I got to operate engineer. And being a woman, you always have to prove yourself.
Yes.
Like when a man comes into the job, they just already think he knows what he's doing. But when a woman comes into the job, you have to prove to them that you know what you're doing. So I think that's really the only obstacle. But women definitely know how to prove themselves. So
absolutely.
We're able to get the job done and do a good job at it.
Absolutely. So when you were faced with some of those situations, how did you overcome them?
besides praying, I spoke with my union rep, and this at PW2 they already prepared you for that too. Like they told you it's going to be you coming in as a woman. They gave you examples. So the stuff that they told me, I seen it out there already, and so I kind of was ready for that to happen. You know, it prepared me.
Gotcha. Preparedness is definitely
for sure.
Yeah, because if you get, especially in the construction realm, right? I'm not in the actual industry, but I've been on some job sites. I've seen some of the lingo, some of the language, some of the it can be pretty.
Yeah, and being a woman, I had older siblings and a big brother, so some of the stuff, someone that didn't come from that area or that neck of the woods, it probably
shock them, huh?
Yeah, shock them. But I was ready for that.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you. So, being a woman in construction, do you feel that you have like a unique perspective on how things are done on the job site?
Well, I'm still learning, because going from different place to place, sometimes you're with the same crew or sometimes you're with a different crew, but I'm still learning. But I really believe that women complement the job site because of the things that we like things a certain way. We like things neat. And so working with a lot of men, a lot of stuff isn't neat, but when a woman comes into that area and we could just do it, we take our time and do it, how it's supposed to be done, and it just ends up great. It looks great.
Gotcha. So what's the most satisfying part about your job?
Besides the check, let me say.
That's always good, though.
Yeah, it is good. I love the fact that you have vacation pay, you have great medical and dental and vision, things that I would be working for, trying to save myself. I don't really have to do it because it comes directly out of my check, and all of a sudden I'm looking at this lump sum of money that I wouldn't have been able to save, but they saved for me. I mean, it's just an all-around good feeling to have even the support of your union reps, So if anything, kind of like if you don't feel comfortable in something, you always have someone to talk to besides an HR,
Yeah.
So, it's beneficial.
So let me ask you this: have you worked on any of the major projects out here?
Well, I came from Grass Valley, but right there on what is that, 80, right there by Cal Expo exit. That's how they're widening the freeway. Yeah. I was.
Oh, that's what they're doing right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was praying that was going, because it bottlenecks right there.
Yeah.
But so, have you ever rode by any of the jobs that you've completed and just roll by there? Because that's has to be satisfying.
Yeah.
When you just ride by and be like, man, I actually helped build that.
Well, it's some buildings. This was before I got to operating engineers. I was in flooring, and so on Richards Boulevard, they built these big, humongous buildings right there past the police station. On your right-hand side, right across from the what is that?
With the Amtrak, not the Amtrak, but the Greyhound and stuff.
Right past the Greyhound is the buildings on your right-hand side. We did all the flooring in those buildings.
Wow.
So I haven't seen the finished product because I came over to operating engineers, but majority of the buildings we did the flooring.
Nice.
So I know from the pictures that I took after satisfying after you get done, you just take a picture, but yeah.
I think construction is like one of the only industries in the world where besides being a kid when you're putting together Legos and you build and you get to sit back and look at it, but this is like real life things that you're building. This is things that you build a building and then you step away from it, and then sooner or later people are going to be using that building. And it's like, man, I had a hand in that.
Yeah.
A big hand in it.
Yeah, because when we first started on Richards Boulevard, it was like a shell. And and just to pass it now is just like
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
the
crazy.
development over there is just ridiculous. I remember there was some like townhomes over there, like really low income, and they ripped all those out and put some other stuff over there. So Richards Boulevard actually, to me, is a really, has a lot of potential. We got another side over there when you get closer by the freeway, but that's cool stuff. Now, is there any advice that you would give any young ladies that are interested in the construction field? Would you tell them anything? Would you give them any advice?
I would tell them to keep your head up, stay focused. A lot of eyes are going to be on you, but you don't take your eyes off the prize, and the prize is making sure that they notice your work and not your beauty, your work,
Absolutely. What would you say to your younger self if you had the opportunity, just like maybe right out of high school or even before high school? Because I know for me, in high school, even up until recently, I didn't really understand the construction industry. I didn't really think that it was something that I can even be a part of, right? What would you say to your younger self? Would you give your younger self any advice, like when you're coming out of high school? Is this something that you would actually pursue?
Oh my gosh, my younger self, I would tell myself to get into a union-based field. I would tell myself you could party later. Get into a career, get into something satisfying, and construction would be one of them, because even my nephews right now, my niece and my nephews, I'm trying to get them into operating engineers, because the sooner you get in, the sooner you're able to establish what you need to establish for your retirement. So if they if I would have got in coming straight out of high school, I would have been retiring at my age right now.
So all you young people out there, listen up, because we're going to be coming to you guys and we're going to be telling you about these opportunities there, and it's up to you at some point. You can't be thinking about the now, right? You got to be thinking about, sometimes you got to think about the future. Because if I would have known me when I was in high school and I would have been able to tell myself about this, I would have 100% would have went to the trades, because I want to say about 85 to 90% of the people that I speak with, they love it. They can take care of their family. They own homes. If they haven't owned a home, or if they don't own a home, they're working on buying a house. They live pretty comfortable lifestyles. They go on vacations, and you work about 9 months out of the year or something like that too. So, you save your money, and those 3 months, you can kind of do as you please if you do it right.
And another thing about construction, you come in like, you have to be an apprentice, and then you become a journeyman. But at the same time, every time someone gets a raise, not a single person get a raise. Everybody gets the raise. So say for instance, you're coming in operating engineer, you're coming in at $31.64, right? $31.64. When they just gave the $4 raise to the journeymans and everybody, I got the $4 raise too, And so it just pans out. And then instead of working a job, and then when it's time for you to retire at whatever age you have to retire, people get Social Security, But in the union, you get 2 pensions. So that's 2 checks that you'll be getting versus 1,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of incentives to to get into construction for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I know it has to be some sort of a work-life balance. Okay. It has to be, because you probably have to put in some long hours sometimes.
Work and sleep. Yeah. That's the balance. No.
So, and then kids as well, right? So how do you balance, how do you have the work-life balance? What do you do? Do you have any tips that you can give anybody out there that help
you? For mothers, get a crock pot. For mothers, get a crock pot. No, but you have to have a balance, but it is really difficult because like the job that I was coming off of, working in Grass Valley, I'm working 12-hour shifts, you know. And so most of the time, the least I worked was 10-hour shifts, but it was a lot of 12-hour shifts also. So that's all day. You coming home, it's nighttime. You leave, it's nighttime because you're leaving at 6 in the morning, or you have to be there at 6 in the morning. I used to have to leave at my house at 5. You know, so I get there, we start work at 6. You know, then we get off after 5, you know, so it's just so many hours. And by the time I got home, it was already dark time. So my son was already home, and, you know, that's why I said that the food already had to be done. So when I got home the night before, I might have put some in the crock pot, and that's how we would eat. But all days aren't like that, you know. You might be working like that for a couple months, you know, but when you get paid every Wednesday, that $1,600 or $1,700 you work for them 5 days, it shows why you're there. You know?
It's worth it, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you see the biggest opportunities for women in the construction industry kind of going forward?
Well, just knowing that they need women, they have to have women, you know, that in itself is great, because they say it's a man's job, but women could do almost every single thing a man could do besides, you know, certain things, you know, but they could almost do everything a man could do. And I think we deserve to have a seat at that table.
Absolutely.
So, I really just, I'm thankful that they're giving women the opportunities to sit at the table and to be able to work these kind of jobs, to be able to get everything they need for their families, because it's a lot of single mothers out there too, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, just to add to their income and add to their family's income, and to show their kids is something different besides working, I guess people would say, women jobs. Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing, and this is very noticeable, because I have 5 girls, right? So I'm all about empowering girls and empowering women, but I'm also a gentleman too, right? So like when we were moving the couch, right, I'm thinking I'm gonna do it by myself, and you just hop right in, just grab it, you know. I'm like, I forget, you know what I mean? Like, you know, most of the time I'm doing it by myself, but then being around a lot of women in construction, they chip in, you know what I mean? They want to chip in, they want to help, and they do a great job, you know what I mean? So I want to commend you guys for that. That's just amazing. Where do you see women in construction going in the future?
I would love to see a lot of women foremans, you know, people that construction companies. You know, I seen this woman, she owns a solar company. And I've never heard of a woman owning like a solar company. But I would like to see things like that, you know.
For sure.
Women sitting at the table, you know.
So do you plan on owning your own business one day? Maybe, you know, having your something with the heavy equipment or something like that, or operating engineer?
I would love to have something going on to that, but I think what I've always wanted to have like a girls facility that shows them different avenues. And it would be great to have a girls facility that caters to construction and operating engineers. Because I know that women don't think like that's something they could do, and it's so much money in it. It's so much money, like even just working 5 days a week. Like you're not going to find another job that gives you $4 raises, let alone the raises that we sometimes get every year. You know, and I think also that's just like any other companies. You might get a 50-cent raise, but you're not getting dollar raises. And I think that women should have the opportunity to be in that kind of field, to where what they do gets seen and appreciated, you know?
Absolutely. I think it's, you know, just speaking with a lot of women I see another group coming in, and things are really starting to change, just because, you know, they're starting to come in a little bit younger. They're fiery, you know, they really don't take no BS from anybody, you know what I mean? And then they're actually capable of performing the work, which is a great thing to see. So you have kids, right? And you're obviously trying to, or you said you're trying to get them to do certain things in the trades.
Like my son, he wants to be a hacker. But like I told him, if you can't be a hacker for the FBI, the union, your next job would be for the union. And the only reason I say I feel strong about that is because I see how you could grow in these positions. You really can grow. And even if you don't grow, if you come in at 18, by the time you're 40 years old, you could be retiring. Who could retire at that age?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Our retirement just went up.
Yeah, was it 70 or 80? I don't even know what it is now.
It used to be 60, you know, now it's 65 and 70, and it's going up. Who wants to be working at that age? But if you start early enough, you could say you could retire.
Yep. That's retiring
That's
at 40.
huge.
So I'm 41, about to be 42. I couldn't even imagine retiring right now. Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about this.
With 2 checks?
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you young people out there, I hope you're really listening and paying attention, because this is the key right here. Always think a little bit forward. You don't have to, you know, right here, right now is very important, but sometimes you definitely have to think about the future. So I guess we're getting ready to wrap it up here pretty soon. You got any shout outs that you want to give?
Shout out to PWT, shout out to Hope, and let's keep going. Let's keep moving.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, I'm your host, Danielle Cherry. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been one of the episodes from the Women in Construction highlight series, and we will do plenty of more. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
If change
is going to happen for us,
It has to happen by us.
we are
people working together,
And this
and this
This
is our Women in Construction
highlight series.